Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Tori, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. You guys, the anniversary of the podcast is June 24th, so I wanted to do an episode about what I've learned in the past year, how I've grown, advice I would give you if I had to go through that mess again, and all the tea about just things I've learned and the joys of being in your 20s. So this is going to be a chill episode. I'm excited. Also, after this episode, I will be taking a 2-week break to work on some things, which I'll talk about in a minute. So I will be back on June 8th. Also, I apologize that this is a day late. I mentioned it on my Instagram that it was going to be, so if you didn't see that, go check out my Instagram. Before I jump in, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, all the fun things. I don't know why my dog is breathing into the corner, if you can hear that. He's being quite creepy. Are you good, buddy? You okay? Okay, we're good now. If you're watching, this is Luna. He's my boy, and he's attached to my hip, so good luck getting him to go anywhere else. Alright, let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm Grace Tori, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. So, let's talk about all the things that have happened in the past year and how you can apply the things I've gone through to your life. Because bestie, if you don't have to go through the things that happened to me, you'll be 10 out of 10. Just learn the lesson from me and don't have to go through it. Number one, this might be one of the most exciting things and something I definitely have wanted to do my entire life. So I'm really excited to just kind of dive into it more. And that is my journey as a writer. So you guys know that I have been a writer my whole life. I have been a writer since I could write, quite literally. My journal goes back to like when I was 6 years old and writing songs. That's crazy to me. But I haven't really pursued it much since high school, and in high school it was just mainly writing. I wasn't posting it anywhere, I wasn't doing anything crazy with it, and now I am. So it's been really, really crazy. I have a Substack for the podcast where I just kind of repurpose some of my old podcast episodes into blogs, so if you want to check that out, it's linked down below. But then I also have one for my poetry called Poems of a People Pleaser, which has been a whole journey to even let those poems see the light of day, because it has been, oh, okay, I guess Luna is going somewhere. I think I'm bothering him by talking. He's trying to sleep. But those poems are really deep. They talk about some themes that I was scared to kind of show the world, and I really, really had a healing journey where I felt like I could help a lot of people, and so that has hit Substack, and now I have edited it and it's going to be self-published as a book. I just have to finish all of the artwork that's going into it, because not only did I do all the writing, but I also am doing all of the artwork. So it's a huge project that I would not have ever done if I hadn't just like randomly decided one day I need to start posting poetry, and I did it anonymously because I didn't want anyone to know it was me. And now I'm going to do it, and it's going to be out there, and it's going to be me, and it's scary, but it's exciting. So my writing journey has grown so much over the past year. I do want to do a podcast episode all about how I draft, how I come up with ideas, what publishing I am personally going with, and why, because I want to do self-publishing for the poetry, but I'm hoping to do, fingers crossed, traditional publishing for the fantasy novel, or maybe traditional down the line and start with self. But there's a lot of reasons for that, and I also have done like a lot of world building and things that go into that, so I want to do an episode on that eventually, because I think that it is super interesting. And when you tell people that you're writing a book, they think that you're like, I don't know, like it seems impossible, but it's not. And I really want to share that with you guys, because I feel like a lot of us have ideas that have gone unheard just because we're scared or the process seems scary. So that's a huge thing, is just becoming confident as a writer, and even just identifying as one, because in my heart, like in my soul, that sounds cheesy, I've always been a writer, but I've never really shared that side with people because being vulnerable is scary. So that's number one, and that's a huge one. Number two is I kind of healed my burnout to a certain extent and fell in love with podcasting or just creating in general again. I was going through the motions for a long time and doing it more so out of like fear of, oh, if I don't post, then I'm never going to get where I want to go. And it wasn't I have this cool, fun, exciting idea that I want to share, or I have something I want to say, or, this is so cool. I would love to help other people achieve it. Like, those are the thoughts I want to have. I want to come from a place of love and excitement and passion, but I'd been coming from a place of fear for so long, and I think that I quit my job, I started a new job, and then I did that one for a while, and then I started a new job, so all of that in the past year, and I think that that helped me get over my burnout, find myself, find what I want to leave as my digital footprint or my mark on the world, and really doing that from a place of just joy. So kind of talking about the finding a new job, the one I did was I traveled all over the US for a horse season. So I grew up doing horses, I have a degree in horses, and I ended up filming horses for videos for a horse season. So I was traveling all over the US, and I don't think that up until I did that, even when it was time to do it, I was scared and didn't think that I would be able to do something like that. Just because the independent side of it, I had to be states away by myself. I had to drive there. I had to make it work. I had to spend that much time without Josh, who's like a huge rock in my life, or my pets, who are huge emotional supporters in my life. And it's not necessarily that I thought like I couldn't do it as an adult, but I thought that emotionally I wouldn't be able to do it, and mentally I would just break down because I have a comfort zone and I like being in my comfort zone and I don't like being out of it, but it really, really helps me embrace that and try new things and just enjoy it, while also giving me confidence to prove that I'm capable of doing whatever I want. Like, I was still posting podcast episodes even when I was gone. I was filming ahead of time. I was getting it done, and just proving to myself that I am capable of literally doing whatever I set my mind to. If you have the option to do something like that that seems so scary and you don't know if you can do it, do it. Surprise yourself. Because, I mean, I made friends that I love and adore and I still talk to, even though we're all over the US. And I took those traits with me that I learned into not just my personal life, but my career that I'm working on now in my new job. Like, it was so applicable, and I never, ever, ever would have thought that I would have the courage to do that and step out of my zone so much. I also began fixing my finances. I started taking it seriously. I was actually talking to my mom about this because I love my mom. She was such a great parent, and I really, really credit so much to her. And I've said 1,000 times, when I raise my kids, I want to raise them like my mom raised me. She was just like such a good mom, like, and I tell her that all the time. But the one thing I really wish she would have done is, when I hit like 15 or 16, I had a job, but I didn't have to pay any bills. And I know that my mom viewed that as like a blessing, but I wish that I would have had to pay something, even if it was just $50, because I was only making like $100 every 2 weeks. I really wasn't making much. Even if it was just $50 a month towards like my phone bill or something, I wish that I would have learned how to budget and understand the value of the dollar and just know more about my money and where it's going, instead of just like having fun money and spending money and my mom like covering everything. Because I went to college, completely moved out. Like, I moved out right after I turned 18 because I graduated right after I turned 18, moved away like an hour and a half away for college, and I had to pay for everything by myself. I did have scholarships, but I did not understand how to budget. I didn't understand how to make things last. I didn't understand, well, if I don't, everything's not going to be fine. Like, if I use all my money at Starbucks, you're not going to have money for food. Like, I don't know what I thought. I just thought that I didn't spend as much money as I did, I guess. I don't know. But there were days I went without food just because I was like, I don't understand how money works, and I'm too embarrassed to say something because I was like, I wasn't working because my scholarship like was so much that they paid me to go to school where I went to school for undergrad. So I had money for each semester, but it wasn't like a crazy amount. It wasn't like I was getting paid like a bougie amount. I got paid enough to eat and to live in a dorm or an apartment or whatever I chose. So I wish that people would have taught me how to be smarter with money. And I have said that to my mom, and that's something I'll implement with my kids. And it's actually something where I was talking to my mom, and Chase, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, it was me. I told my mom that she needed to start charging my brother something to live there, because when he turned 21 was when I started pushing it, and nothing wrong with him living there. He has a job, he's working, and he's saving up for a house, so it's not like any tea or shade there, but I was just like, he needs to be able to pay something, because you pay for the phone, she was paying for the car at the time, or helping with it. You pay for majority of everything, and when he moves out, I don't want him to have to go through what I went through. And I'm not saying that he has to pay you hundreds of dollars, but I think that he should pay $50, $100, whatever he can, and it should go in a savings account, like a high-yield savings account, and then when he does move out, he has that money to go towards a security deposit for an apartment or furniture to furnish his apartment. And I kind of talked to her about it as a friend, because my mom and I are like best friends. We're very close. So I kind of put my friend hat on and said, hey, I wish that this is how things would have gone for me. And this is how I hope that we can fix this for Chase. And she didn't want to charge him at all. She didn't want to do a set amount, but I was like, just talk to him about it. And so she did, and he actually was all for it. He's like, listen, I'm going to do a set amount of like this much, but I'm going to probably give you more every month to go towards this, because I want this money to like be saved towards something. I don't want to accidentally spend it, and this way I'm budgeting it and it's going away, and I'm learning how to save. Like, my brother was all for it, and I'm actually really proud of him for that, because it is something where sometimes people are like, are you kidding me? You're charging me to live in this house? Like, people can get so mean about it, like children, just so entitled, and it's like, at a certain age, yeah, like, Josh and I don't mind saying this because I know the market is crazy right now. We pay $2,000 a rent in a month for rent, and that's not including utilities or anything for our house. So I think that charging a grown adult, a 21-year-old, a 22-year-old, a 25-year-old, $100 a month to go in a savings account is really letting them off easy, you know? Like, I feel like, and it teaches them some sort of responsibility. So anyway, I went on a tangent, but I began researching finances, researching investing, researching a 401k versus a savings account versus a Roth IRA and how all of that works, and researching ways to pay off debt and what I should and shouldn't done and how to handle student loans and what you should pay off first. And I'm really, really proud of myself for taking that seriously. For a long time, I had credit card debt, and it was bringing my credit score down little by little, but I was like, you know what? I don't have money. I'll pay it off when I can. And I also started a job where I make enough money that I can pay off debt, and I'm not literally just like so paycheck to paycheck. It's not even funny. Like, I'm not even able to pay my bills. Doing things like that was so freeing for me, and I'm not there yet. Like, it's not like I make enough that I just pay off everything in one swoop, but I'm slowly getting there. My credit score's gone up 100 points since January, and it's something I'm proud of. So that took up quite a bit. That was a long rant, but we're moving on. Next, I started the process of looking at houses with Josh and just learning how to buy a house. Like, we haven't bought one yet because the market, and we're working on saving up for a down payment, and we're working on bringing up our credit. All of these things, making more money so we can get approved for more, all of the cool, amazing, fun adult things, but we had no idea what we were doing. And in January, we were like, yeah, we're going to buy a house, and we're going to buy a house immediately. Boy, oh boy, did we get a reality check. And just learning how to do it, it's not scary anymore, and it's more exciting. So hopefully we can do that by the end of the year, but if not, it's okay. Like, it's not something where it's like, we need to do this immediately, but it would be pretty cool if everything fell into place. So just learning how to do that, an adult. The day after Christmas, I went and caught some bunnies, and they have become a part of our house. The bunny distribution system has struck again. We have 2 bunnies, but we rescued 2 more, and I neutered them in the hopes that we could find them a home, but the houses kept falling through, and now they're kind of bonding with mine, and if they bond and there's no issues, we're going to keep them. But rescuing bunnies is no joke, and it's hard, and it's a lot. But we took it on, I took it on, and it's been really taught me a lot about, I don't know, just being a kind human. I've always tried to be a kind human, but just making it work for the sake of a small little animal that's kind of a jerk sometimes and turns your house upside down. It's just been really, really, I don't know, I've learned a lot, and it's taught me responsibility because we don't have kids. We do have a ton of animals, but we don't have kids. So I feel like it's helped me prepare by just really upping the ante of all the things I have to do to make sure that they stay thriving and alive. And, you know, I didn't really have to do as much before because everything was kind of set up, but teaching these guys how to be litter box trained and feeding them and cleaning their freaking room almost every day because they're just dirty and not as clean as my bunnies who already know how to do the litter box and everything. It's been a learning curve, and I'm proud that I have been able to do it just for the sake of doing something nice. I began to understand the importance of protecting my peace and that it is okay to do that. I'm not the villain because I do that. This is something I've been working on for years, but I really, really put it into effect this year. And I think that I put a lot of pressure on myself saying, like, you're only going to be in your 20s once, you need to go out, you need to party, you need to do that because once you have kids and once you settle down, like, you're not going to be able to do that and you're going to regret it. And I do try to balance it where I still do fun things, but if I just want to protect my peace and stay inside, that's fine. And also, if someone is really, really disturbing my peace and hurting my feelings and making things really, really difficult, it's okay to set boundaries. Like, I'm a lot more quick to do that than I used to be. I have learned to let go and let flow. I am a control freak. I want everything to be perfect. I have OCD. I get really stressed out if everything isn't the way I want it to be. If things aren't going exactly how I want them to be, if a video isn't getting as many views as I wanted it to, I really used to just freak out. And now I'm like, things are gonna flow and they're gonna be how they're meant to be, and I have these desires on my heart that I believe that God or the universe or whatever wouldn't have put there if it wasn't meant to be. So I need to stop holding on so tightly and just let it happen, and that's what I've been doing. And life just feels so much lighter, it feels so much happier, it's just like easier, obviously. I forgave a lot of people in my past and started to lead with love. And by forgiving, I don't mean that I just like reached out to them and was like, I forgive you, come back into my life, even though you hurt me so deeply and you probably will do it again. No, I forgave them for the sake of my peace. Like, I'm gonna let go of this resentment or this sadness or this betrayal because I deserve peace. And there's people in my life that didn't necessarily like majorly screw me over, but we lost touch, and I felt like it was for reasons that were kind of petty and kind of hurtful, but it wasn't like I think they're a bad person. I just think that they did something that we were young and dumb, and it really hurt my feelings at the time. And I've really started to approach the situations like if it's their birthday or they reach out and say, you know, they reach out on Facebook and say having a bad day or whatever. I've been a lot more quick to say, hey, hope you're doing well, if you need someone, I'm here, or hey, happy birthday, or just small things like that. I didn't before because even if they hadn't done anything to really hurt me and we'd just grown apart, I used to have crippling anxiety that they didn't like me, or they had a problem with me, or if I reached out, they're gonna like ruin my life, or there's gonna be conflict, instead of, oh, we just grew apart. And so leading with love and assuming the best in people, that we just lost touch, or you know, they got busy, things like that, have made a huge difference. I'm just leading with love and loving people, and if they want to reciprocate that, that's fine. If not, it's not specifically something wrong with me. Maybe there's something going on with their life, but allowing that to be a huge thing this year for me has been really helpful. I began researching my health more and understanding what's going on with my body. I'm going on year 2 or year 1.5, 2.5. I think it's 2.5 of being off of birth control. And it's supposed to be like 6 months to a year when things go back to normal, but I was on it for like 7 years. So it took that long until probably December of last year when I started to see things go back to normal, which is crazy. And I was like talking to my best friend and some other people because a lot of us went off of it because it's just like our age, like we're 25, we want to start having kids eventually. Maybe we just don't need it anymore. Like, that's the vibe. A lot of us are talking, and it's like we went through almost like a second puberty because like we didn't have to deal with it because we've all been on birth control since we were 13, 12, way too young to be on it. So we don't know how to handle acne. We don't know how to handle weight gain. We don't know how to handle awkwardness or just like not having the same body that we had when we were on birth control. And they don't tell you how much that changes you. So having to research and actually eat better, because like when I was on birth control, I could eat whatever I wanted. I didn't get acne. I didn't gain weight. And now like I do, and having to be a normal functioning adult is something new. So just understanding like, oh, if I eat this, it's probably going to affect me in this way. And if I take this supplement, it's going to help with this. And I need to be drinking this much water, and really focusing on skincare because my skin has been breaking out since probably since like November, maybe December. Really learning like, oh, well, this chemical is in this skincare product and that's why it's making me break out, whereas my skin is maybe not reacting well to this. And just having a skincare journey and just learning what works for me has been really crazy and something I've worked on this past year. So I've really learned a lot, and hopefully I'm on the right track. I also have actually been taking my vision board seriously, and it's crazy because like just looking at it and not looking at it and being like, I'm gonna recreate that picture and I want to be them, but just looking at it and being like, this represents this thing in my life and I really am gonna try my best to make that come true, has made a huge difference. And I've coincidentally taken a picture and been like, wow, that looks like it's come off of my vision board and I didn't even try. Like, this situation is something I've dreamed of and planned for and really worked towards, and it's finally come true. So just taking my vision board more seriously than ever, and my monthly vision boards, and it's been a game changer in terms of just living a life that I love and romanticizing the little things. I started blogging on my Substack, which I've kind of already talked about, but you know, that's kind of crazy because I started a blog when I was younger and then I stopped it, and now like blogging about something different but coming back to that is something that I really am excited about, and I just find really full circle. I stopped caring about anyone's opinion, especially when it comes to social media, the podcast, the dog's podcast, or the dog's social media, my social media. When I post things, it's because I want to remember it and I want to look back on it, and it's more so like a scrapbook versus what's so-and-so gonna think, or oh, so-and-so might see this, or oh, these people might see this. Like, who cares? Literally, who cares? You're way too old and life is way too short to care. Like, what is the saying? The people who matter don't mind, and the people who mind don't matter. I fell in love with reading again. I've been reading so much. Specifically in 2025, I've already read more than I read in the entire year of 2024, but I did pick it back up in 2024. So 2025 is when it really took off, but it's something I used to do so much when I was younger, and I just fell back in love with it, and it's something I've started up again instead of really spending a lot of time on the screens. I began creating a schedule revolving around things that I actually love and enjoy and just incorporating them into my life more. For example, every morning I make time to go and sit in my hammock while the dogs go out, and I just like meditate and think about the day and just spend time in nature, because nature is something I truly, truly love. I have time just scheduled into my day where I hang out with my pets, not just like when I'm sleeping, because my pets are like a big part of my life, but usually it's like, oh, I feed them and then I'm working and they're with me, but it's not like I'm intentionally playing with them, petting them. Like, they lay with me at night, but a lot of the times it's just like them with me while I'm doing things because they play with each other and they're very like, do their own thing. And so making time to intentionally just sit with them and talk to them and love on them is something that I've really been incorporating. Also, exercising. I have started a walk club where I'm walking a couple times a week with my neighbors and going to the barn and making it like a thing that's this time, this day, every single week I am going to the barn. No one schedule anything. No one talk to me. Don't like, call me unless it's an emergency. This is something I love and I'm passionate about, and I'm gonna be really incorporating into my life. I also have learned to stand more firm and stop people pleasing as much. It's not anybody else's life but mine, so I appreciate people's advice. I take it into consideration, but I'm no longer doing things just because someone else wants me to, or it's what they picture as my life, or they think I should be a certain person or live a certain way. Like, it's my life. It's my happiness, it's my guilt, it's my regret if I'm gonna have any, and it's my future. So I'm the one who should stand firm in my beliefs and trust myself if it's something I really believe, and not do something or stop doing something because everybody else wants me to. I have helped Josh grow as an entrepreneur and also supported him as he's done this. He owns a business, and then he's also starting side hustles that I'm helping him with, primarily with the side hustles, and that's something he's done in the past year. He quit his more quote-unquote stable, I wouldn't call it stable because he was 100% commission, but he quit that job to own and run a business, and it's been something that's been a journey for us both, and just learning to trust him and help him when it's needed. It's been really something that's taught me a lot and helped our relationship grow. I have started saying no to things that don't align with my future and being more thoughtful about decisions and less impulsive about it. So I really consider, like, is this something that long term is going to get me to my goals? Whereas before it was like, yeah, no, I'll take this promotion, this job that I don't want to be in because in the moment it's helpful. Or, yeah, no, I'm going to move here because it may not help me in the long term, but in this moment it's something that's helpful. Like, I'm really considering where I want to be long term, and if it doesn't align with that, saying no, or figuring out if I can incorporate it to be a stepping stone in some way, and just being less sad or shameful or regret if I, like, turn down something that is objectively a good opportunity but not good in the long run for me personally. I have taken my health more seriously, my mental health specifically, and become more aware when I'm sweating the small stuff. I have crippling anxiety, among other things. I sweat the small stuff, I get really freaked out, and I panic. And I have really, really, really tried to be way more conscious when I'm freaking out and having a little mentee be about things that aren't that big of a deal. Like, for example, being late to meet someone. I used to freak out so much and be like, I can't be late, I can't let them down, I can't. But, like, being late because there's traffic, freaking out and driving like a madman is not going to help anything. You're probably still going to be late and you're putting your life in danger. So little things like that where it's like, I don't want to let them down. Just texting them and saying, hey, I'm stuck in traffic, I'm so sorry. Or, you know, there's a car accident if there is one. Or, I was working late, can we meet in 15 minutes later? Like, I had to finish something up at work. Like, things like that. And usually they're like, yeah, no worries, be safe. Like, people who actually care about you are fine with that. That's just an example of sweating the small stuff. But learning to be more aware of when I am sweating the small stuff and just, like, letting it roll off my shoulders has been really important. And lastly, since January, I've been working on a rebrand for the podcast. I have just been in the idea phase. I haven't been able to actively do a lot of it, but that is part of what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 weeks while I'm taking a break. So I really, really, really am excited, and I hope you guys are excited too. I hope that you guys love the rebrand once it does come to fruition, hopefully in the next 2 weeks, but if not, hopefully before the 24th when we hit our anniversary. It'll be 3 years, which is crazy. 3 years of the podcast going strong. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this and you took something that I said and it helped you to better understand maybe a situation you're in, or you took the advice and you're pocketing it for when you do come across something. But I really, really, really love you guys so much. Thank you so much for 3 years. Take these 2 weeks as a summer break to just enjoy and rest and have all the fun in the world. I probably will still be posting on Instagram and TikTok, definitely Substack, because I'm just going to be posting, like, when I'm inspired to on Instagram and TikTok. It's not going to be so much as, like, a, oh my gosh, I have to post this so many times, or, like, I'm not engaging enough, but more so a, oh, this is a silly, goofy post I'm going to make, and I'll post it and see what happens. So definitely stay tuned. The only thing that's really being paused is the podcast episodes, just so I can work on the rebrand and take a little break and work on publishing my books, because I really need to dive into those. But that's pretty much it. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a rating and review, all the free things, and make the podcast so much more successful. Share this with a friend who you think would enjoy it. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. 3 weeks. June 8th. Okay? I love you guys so much. Bye.